A very good evening to one and all, and a warm welcome for today's session. I don't know how to express my gratitude to all the participants who have been associated with us during all these 4 days, and today we have come to an end of it. This is the fifth day, and today is the last session of NCF 2023. And let me tell you, day by day, we could have the cream among the educators sitting with here. The point is not about the number. The point is about dedication and patience to learn the things as to become an educator, a perfect educator. So I don't want to waste much time because it's been already 5 minutes that has passed. So let me hand over the mic to the moderator of the day, Mrs. Ashwini Srinivasan, to start with the session.
Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to the day 5 of NCF webinar program. The culture of a school as for reaching impacts on every aspects of the organization. With this small thought, I would request our resource person, Mrs. Abhilasha Verma ma'am, headmistress of a CBSE school from Tamil Nadu, to take part D, that is school culture and school processes. The stage is all yours, Abhilasha ma'am.
Ma'am, you're on mute. Kindly unmute yourself.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone, all present, one and all. Thank you, Ashwini, ma'am. So, I'm very glad to present the part D, school culture and processes, which is a very important topic to be taken. I'm glad that I have got this opportunity to explain this topic of NCF 2023. So, next slide, sir.
Sir, could you please mute the participants?
So these are the topic under school culture and school process.
Abhilasha
ma'am, you're on mute, ma'am. Unmute yourself and continue, ma'am.
Okay, I don't know. Okay. So dear participants, these are the topics under school culture and school processes, which will be taken care of today. So next slide, sir. So let us discuss about school culture. What is school culture? What do you understand by school culture? So it is a very vast and explanatory topic, but I have confined it into one slide, and the keywords I have taken for you all. So first point I'll take for students as leaders and upstanders. So what does it mean? And who are responsible for this strategy in the school? So we have student council as allotted as volunteers, and even the class monitors are there. The main responsibility in the school is like they have been given the work task of cleanliness, display boards, food waste management. So these are the there are different volunteers which can be which can come forward to do all these work as a part of school culture. And next is community family engagement. So the culture of school is reflected in the way important in school are parents. So first impression is the last impression. And welcoming the parent, engaging them, the communication, how you do, it should be very, very clear and satisfactory. So no fake promises should be given to them. What is the actual thing, what actual processes you are taking, that should be conveyed properly to the parents. And how do we appreciate them? Appreciating the parents is very, very important. So we should invite them during PTMs. special events, celebrations. So it really plays a vital role of a healthy relationship with the school, stakeholders and it reflects the school culture. Next is meet service needs of school, students and families. So regular meeting with the parents, counseling the students. There are several categories of students in each and every class. We know that those who really need counseling, it should be given to encourage the students to learn better. Next is classroom practices and curricula. What does it mean? It means a healthy relationship should be there between the teacher, students, and the administration also. So wishing each other, relationship becomes stronger when you smile at each other at least. Then clear information to the parents for the curriculum practices should be given. School displays, board, updation, and even the uniform, what the school follows of the students, it plays a vital role in enhancement of the school culture. It shows how the school follows its culture. And use of the TML, seating arrangement in the class, all these constitute the classroom practices. The next comes staff support and development. A healthy relationship develops a healthy school environment. Whether it is a teacher-student relationship, whether it is a student-student relationship, or teacher-administration relationship. When the bonding is strong, the effect will be seen in the school's growth. Next comes attendance policy and practices. Punctuality, regularity is must in the students as well as in the teacher. When the teacher is present, he or she will be participating in the school growth. And it will encourage the learning of the students also. And participation in all the school activities. The active participation in the school activities of the students, and the teacher is responsible to encourage them for active participation. Then last point is rethinking discipline in policy, data, and practices. So time to time updation of circular, reminders like fee, book distribution, event celebration, and other necessary informations is very, very important from the part of administration in a school culture. That's all for school culture. So next slide, sir. The next topic is school processes. The most important for every school is that it ensures two things: the smooth functioning of day-to-day activities, which is under the administrative power, enabling progress. And the second point is enabling progress towards achievement of curricular goals. So 2 points are very, very important. First, planning, and second one, how the execution can be done for curriculum as well as administration. So the school processes according to NCF 2023 is divided into 3 categories: curricular processes, curriculum associated processes, organization processes. I'll take on the first part, curriculum processes. So these processes affect directly on the learning. So happy and healthy environment is very, very important. And simple tasks like monitoring and improving quality of teaching, cleanliness, time allocation of each task ensures smooth flow of curriculum. Suppose the timetable is not clear to the teachers. So everybody, we are in education sector. If the timetable is not strong, not clear, then the whole curriculum is affected. Then next comes, also in the timetable, it's not only about the class timetable. It should be the annual calendar should be ready. The plan should be ready. Next point is assembly. So assembly, how the students are encouraged to participate in the assemblies. It depicts the culture, and also the students are encouraged when they are called and given a chance to speak in front of the whole crowd, whole school. Then library. Library enhances the various type of skills. I'm already, Jyoti ma'am has taken this part in the English section. So I'll not include that here. And student committees, teachers are responsible, students are responsible, event celebration, all the participants like teacher and the students, both are responsible for smooth functioning of all these things. The next comes the curriculum associated processes. First is teachers' professional development. So teachers' competency directly affect the student learning. So teachers' satisfaction and professional satisfaction is very, very important. So how we can enhance the teachers' professional development? Already the CBSE has announced for the training sessions, 50 hours training session. As well as in the school, the peer learning practices can be done. The senior teachers, those who are experienced, they can teach the newly joined teachers or inexperienced teachers so that they can gain much experience, and ultimately the result is students' growth. And next is health and hygiene, stakeholder satisfaction, health and hygiene. We are working at the educators, as educators, we are working mostly for the stakeholder satisfaction, which is the must. Next come the organizational processes. Setting a time frame to achieve a goal. It is a clear academic administration. What do you want to do? What should be the plan? How to proceed it? It's very, very important for the overall growth and development of the school. And all the processes, whether it is curriculum, whether it is curriculum associated processes, everything depends on a proper planning. So time and resource allocation is very, very important. Resource allocation will include the teachers' recruitment, hiring processes, and as well as the infrastructure. The resources such as lab, furnitures, and other infrastructure things should be proper, should be maintained. And conflict management, which is very, very important nowadays. A counselor or a guide or a proper organization process should be there to see the conflict management. If in the teacher relationship with the administration or among the teacher or with the stakeholders is not good, then it will affect the whole school processes. So next slide, sir. This is most important as we do planning. We prepare academic calendar, we do our planning in the school, institutional plannings are there, lot of sectors are there where we do this planning. So PDCA, what does it mean? Plan, do, check, and action. Planning, how do you plan a thing? Then like stakeholders need, first in your mind, you will keep that what is the actual motto of doing this planning. And then do it. Doing means how you will assess it, how you will execute it. And then checking, how after execution, how can you check it? Through feedback, evaluation, results, assessments, and then action. Where improvisation is needed, you will improvise and then the action plan. So this is the process it goes. It's called, in short, we say PDCA. So this is all about school culture and school processes. Thank you so much. So next slide. Any question, anybody, any participants, you have any question about it? I hope I was clear, and any doubt you can ask.
Yes, ma'am, you are clear, ma'am. Thank you.
I hope you have taken the screenshot of the slides. The points are very clear. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ashwini. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Abhilasha ma'am. Your points and your insights were very clear. Thank you for that good explanation. And our next part is creating a supportive ecosystem. In that, chapter 1 is capacity building for implementation. To take that part, I request Mrs. Aarti Killen resource person of SNTTC, principal of Sagar Public School, Bhopal, to take over the session. Aarti ma'am, the screen is all yours.
Thank you, Ashwini ma'am. It's wonderful to listen to the previous, school processes and all. And I know these all things are very, very essential. I would like to take it further from the question that we had in a discussion yesterday during the open house, that we have talked about NCF so much, but how are we going to implement it in our schools? And this question, I'm sure you people will get an answer today, because NCF for school education is applicable in all types of schools. When I say all type of schools, it means open schools, distance learning schools, alternative schools, non-formal schools, private schools, virtual schools, in fact, everywhere. So a real transformational force for Indian school education is actually required, and it will be appropriately complemented by all the factors. And when we say supportive ecosystem, now, who all are the part of the ecosystem that we need to work upon? So I know very intelligent audience is there with us. I would request everybody to, help me with the answers. What do you think are the part of this ecosystem? Who all are the part of this ecosystem? Let's have it. Come on.
Your teachers, parents,
Yes.
students,
Okay. Very good. Teachers, parents, students.
friends, yeah,
Yeah.
friends, relatives. It's like everyone. It
It's
can be,
everyone.
even that is the professionals, and also few of the organizations which can help in learning processes. Like if you go,
Exactly.
yeah, if you go to the some sites, like, or do the surveys, if you
Yeah.
want to visit any what we call dairy, if you want to visit a zoo, if you want to visit some uh, means type of NGOs or orphanages. So there we need the
Yes.
professionals.
Right. Next slide, sir. So, perfect. I am sure we all are on a common platform now. Here we are going to discuss about implementation of NCF and how different steps, what different steps are involved in the development of this, whether it is state curriculum framework, whether it is other curriculum framework, all based on NCF appropriate syllabi. We are going to talk about textbooks. We are going to talk about other TLM, that is teaching learning material. So all this which is used will be there, which will be there to denote the relevant frameworks. So next slide, please. Now the question comes, key stakeholders, and I've already got the answers. The key stakeholders are teachers, head teachers, principals, syllabus and TLMA developers. These are all the key persons who are involved in the implementations of relevant curriculum frameworks. So all these stakeholders, they are in the ecosystem where this work will be there, where we are able to interpret this curriculum framework, where we are able to work in the context of, let's have a role and the support of each. And when I say stakeholders, who all are there? They are all the personnel in academic and administrative support structure. There are teacher education, there are parents, educators, parents and community members. And what are the components of this? They have to refer to the approaches. They have to work on the principles. There are key curricular designs. They have to see the transitions in pedagogy, what content has to be there, how assessment has to take place. So the roles and the responsibilities of these stakeholders have to be designed to find out, so that effective collaboration can be there, and it enhances the communication, it fosters the trust, and it leads to shared goals. And what is that shared goal? That is implementation of the curriculum framework. Now, who all are there to have it? One is SCERT, just like NCERT, National Council of Educational Research and Training. There is State Council. It will anchor and design. it will be there helpful in the module development. Then there's another one which is called DIET. Can anybody help me with the full form of DIET? That is District Institute of Educational Training. So these all have to work together with one focus that is based on the specific roles and responsibilities. So all the stakeholders must be oriented. They have to be oriented or focused towards the broad curricular, pedagogical, and assessment approach of this CFs. Only then they will be able to reach the goal. And they have to have a broad orientation to the learning standards. Their implication, their focus areas for teachers should include learning standard, curricular areas, experiential learning, and competency-based approach. See, I'm talking about everybody, whether it is in admin, whether it is in academics, and if it is academics, then teachers, then there are head teachers and principals. Now they have certain expectations. Now those certain expectations are regarding school culture, the school processes, school restructuring, as well as the approach of teachers and the other towards the curriculum, pedagogy, and assessment. There are other academic functionaries as well, HODs and all, and their key transition will be to help teachers make particularly changes in pedagogies and assessments. Their work will be to empower, to have an empowering culture for the teachers. Then there are administrative functionaries. They have to work on this. And last but not the least, parents are there. Community members are there. They also have to be oriented towards the learning standards. And today we are going to take all these in details. Next. Next, yes. Now I'm sure many maths people are here. And anybody, if you can help me with this Venn diagram. Something in light green, something in orange, and there is something in dark green. There's an overlapping part. What does it signify? And if you have listened to what I said in the previous slide, it is the light greens are these stakeholders. Come on, anybody who can try to deduce it out. Let's work on it together. Somebody?
Orange.
So this, yeah, please come. Yeah, come again.
It is about stakeholders.
Okay, it is all about stakeholders. Anything else?
Ma'am, in the Venn diagram, it is shown educational leaders, community stakeholders, operational support. They all three are interlinked with each other.
Very good. Okay. Then, if you can see that, okay, let's start with the light green part. One is community stakeholders. So who are these community stakeholders? The teachers, the parents, and the community members who are directly linked to each other. Who are the educational leaders? The head teachers, the principal, SERT, that is again state board, DIET, district board, and the resource persons. And the operational support is from the administrative department, administrative functionaries, and the academic functionaries. Academic functionaries refers to HMs, HODs, and the other people who have been supporting with the teaching learning material. Now, if you come on to the orange part, okay? The orange part, if you can see, this is the scope for collaboration. You can see educational leaders and community stakeholders. There's one orange part. It shows how they can support to schools and students. Then educational leaders, they can give curricular resources, school progress, they can help in pedagogy and assessment. And the operational support can be through the infrastructure, resources, and logistical support. And how, if you can see the dark green part where all this shows how we need to collaborate together for the perfect functioning, how we need to understand the key curricular areas and what is the reason for the transition, what learning standards and implications are to be there in all sections, whether it is foundational stage, whether it is middle stage, whether it is secondary stage, what learning standards have to be there, how it is going to impact them. What are the ways of assessment? How can we implement various approaches? How the formative assessments have to be there? What is the experiential learning? at the end of the day. So this is what curriculum framework literacy for all the stakeholders. Next. Coming on to the capacity building of the teachers, it has to be done across the stages. Overall approach is required. And the preferred mode over here is face-to-face interaction. We have to give continuous support. The program has to be supplemented with digital material, relevant handbooks, other training materials as well. Capacity building programs have to be organized by district education department. Continuous support has to be there from the block level and the cluster level functionaries. As far as possible, if private schools can be part of these processes, then only the maximum results will be there. Broadly, the module for the capacity building and will address the CF literacy. CF literacy, when I say, it is the curriculum framework, learning standards, competency-based approach, state-wise pedagogy, assessments, textbooks, materials, and not only that, experiential learning. Teachers have to have the orientation on how to leverage local resources, particularly when it comes to vocational education, physical education, well-being, and art education. This is the overall approach. If we talk about the capacity building for mathematics, language science, social science, other subjects as in the secondary stage classes, again, we have to go ahead with the capacity building program. And this capacity building program is required to understand and fully utilize the empowerment. This can be in the form of, again, intensive face-to-face training. And this training can be for 10 days. Maximum, it will be extended to 20 days and 15 days over the year. And this can be continued for 2 to 3 years after the implementation of the relevant curriculum framework. Then only people will understand and it will be applied in the actual way. So you can see long and short period training can be there. Orientation for the teachers have to be there to fill in the needs in the world around us. Vocational education in the interdisciplinary areas. And this training has to be continued for 2 to 3 years after this curriculum is implemented. This capacity building program has to be continuous so that teachers are trained. They can take up the task, whatever is the curricular, goals, how the learning standards have to be set, how the assessments have to be taken. I think by now, everybody is trained in this. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Aarti ma'am. As always, you rocked. You made it easy for the people to understand. Okay. In creating a supportive ecosystem, Chapter 2 is ensuring an appropriate environment for learning. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. With this thought, I request Mrs. Meenu Kaur Chawla, SNTTC resource person as well as soft skill trainer, to take over this part. I welcome you, Aarti ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ashwini ma'am. And in the previous slides, Aarti ma'am has already spoken a lot about how to strengthen the school system when it comes to curriculum framework. And now we'll be seeing what other elements are to be included when we talk about how to ensure appropriate environment for learning. Next slide, please, sir. Yes. First, in the first slide, we'll be talking about outdoor infrastructure. Now, it is not that only, I'm not saying that only a well-furnished or a well-constructed school can be the temple of learning, but yes, there are few things for which every school has to be ensured. And those are like permanent stable structure, a compound wall, which should be very strong, and a secure gate. Then, because there is this is a fact that learning does not happen only in confined environment. We need to have safe and open play space for the children where they learn outside the class. Then every school has been talking about Go Green, and there are so many schools which have already earned the badge of green schools. So that means planting trees local fruit bearing trees, because this is something which will help the children to understand what is their local produce, how to respect their culture. We have been working on work at the local level and think global. So whenever we are incorporating everything which talks about local produce, which talks about local practices, it not only connects the children to the natural environment, but also connects them to with their culture and much more. Then an extra support, because every school has to accommodate few children which are exceptionally blessed children. So like handrails, tactile pavers, signage with braille, everything, which ensures that no child feels left out. This is what NCF focuses on. And I mean, there are so many things which may already be a part of many schools. I mean, the representatives of the school who are sitting here. Next slide, please, sir. When we talk about indoor infrastructure, we talk about well-ventilated, electrified classrooms. And, these days, each and every classroom is already becoming digital, wherein we have smart boards, we have so many TLMs which are in the form of digital media now. We also talk about, NCF also focuses on well-equipped libraries. It also speaks about accessible libraries and workshops. It talks about shaded, clean space for dining. Like I went to a school named Sanskriti, I guess 3 years back, and I loved the culture of that school. The school students who take lunch in the school premises itself, in the school canteen, I mean, the school cooks the meal for them. So they eat in steel plates only. There is no other metal used for, these utensils, each and everything. And they sit, there is a traditional environment created there. This enchanting goes, and the children eat out of steel spoons and steel plates only. Then obviously, because cleanliness, and not only cleanliness, but proper and safe toilets are a mandate, which definitely every school looks after and has to look after. Then semi-open areas, like we have open theaters. Many of the schools do have open theaters. Then it also talks about uninterrupted supply of clean and safe drinking water and electricity. Then school library, we have already talked a lot about. When we say about school library, we are not talking only about putting the books or keeping the books which talk about curriculum, but more than that. Different genres of the book should be a part and parcel of that library. And then, it can be a good, or if that space, suppose a school building does not have a proper space to get a library, then classroom can be converted into a library. Very easily, these things can be accommodated. And then different communities, like they can be given an access to the library. Next slide, please, sir. Infrastructure to ensure safety, like this is something which the administrative department works a lot on. Non-flammable, regulation quality assurance check, stable permanent structure. Doors should have the latches, and there should be locks on entry and exits, especially the places which are those flight of stairs which give an access to the terrace, open terraces and all. Ventilation and light has to be looked. Standardized and concealed plumbing and electrification, because that is the classroom should not be should not be used with some wires which are visible, and that too which has multiple cuts on it. Then definitely the classroom should not have only one door. 2 doors have to be there. Familiar assembly areas, regular fire drills, helping numbers, easily accessible first aid kits, anything which, these all are the things which I'm pretty sure that all the school representatives who are sitting here may be seeing as a regular practice of their school. These things are kept at all those points which are easily accessible by the children. And then, we don't have to waste time when it comes to some emergency situation. Next slide, please, sir. Infrastructure to ensure inclusion, barrier-free access to eliminate various kinds of bias, and ramps and bike path. Because see, as we have talked in previous slide also, Now each and every school has to accommodate the specially blessed children. When we are accommodating specially blessed children, our duty being school community is not to make them feel aloof or make them feel separate. Rather, they should be feeling, I am one among the regular. I do not lack anything which keeps me separate. So for that, various infrastructure modulations have to be there. Then it also talks about accommodative furniture, toilets, learning material for disabilities and learning difficulties, because we have already been talking about now making a specially able child or a specially blessed child in class only to get academic access is not enough. More than that has to be looked after. The child's every need of that child has to be catered, and for catering that, all these things become a mandate for any school structure. And definitely like sanitation, because we all are living in that world where we are strictly following like Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, and so many things are going on. So if we have clean sanitation, if we have proper toilet seats with safety and cleanliness, definitely adolescent girl child dropouts reduces a lot. And then accessibility for every child and staff. Many schools, they just some of the schools, I mean, they have a common washroom for children and for teachers, but no, that should be a separate thing. So now if we are talking about this strength, wherein in the previous slides we saw how academic, how curriculum framework is so well balanced, how the contribution of each and every stakeholder makes a learning or takes learning to next level. Not only this, but also a proper infrastructure to ensure that child not only loves coming to school, but lives the every moment the child spends there. Next slide, please. Now, with this, I finish my part, and I hand over the screen again to Ashwini ma'am.
Thank you, Meenu ma'am. Though it was simple, it was precise. Thank you for your valuable insights, Meenu ma'am. Enabling and empowering teachers is our third chapter. Empowering teachers can help improve students' outcomes and create a better learning environment for all students. To take this part, none other resource person can be perfect to do this. So now I hand over the mic to our founder, director of SNTTC, to Mr. Ravikant sir, to give away his ideas.
Thank you so much for that, wonderful introduction, Mrs. Ashwini Srinivasan. But let me tell you, you people have been doing better than me during all these days. So it is not that none other can do, but still, I take it. Thank you so much for those kind words. Yeah. So enabling and empowering the teachers, as my team has unanimously, they have chosen me to take up this topic. And because I have always felt that if we are training one teacher, that teacher can train hundreds of students. And that is the vision behind establishing SNTTC and also conducting webinars like this. And maybe like they are also closely associated to my vision, and they have asked me to take up this topic. And here I am with my insights on the topic. First and foremost thing that we need to remember is only a happy teacher can make the student happy, classroom happy. Apart from that, the school happy, the society happy, and finally, we have a healthy education. Education that doesn't give individuals mental peace, emotional peace, and work-life balance is of no use. So, every institute, especially I urge the school heads like the academic coordinators, vice principals, and principals sitting over here today, as to make your teachers happy. You don't have to pay them a 5-figure salary, but you have to look into their basic amenities which are required. So speaking about that, the first thing that comes into the mind is autonomy and accountability. These days, we have come across as principals few educational institutions wherein they are not even trying to amend their policies, which are not good for the school culture. The policies that put the teachers in stress, students in trouble, parents in stress, and the whole school in lots of commotion and clumsiness is not good for the society, because society is made up of several schools, and the children who are studying in this particular school are going out and they are a very important part of society. So it is very much important that you don't stress the teachers to follow blindly your organizational policies. Kindly hear to them. If at all any amendment has to be done to in the organizational policy, that has to be done, because times are changing. Those days are gone when principals used to have spectacles on their nose, sit like this and observe everything, and teachers used to just come to school like serious gunshots and have the things getting done. Those days are gone. Today teachers have become creative, and teachers also want exposure to the society. And believe me that teachers also have a personal space, and we cannot question them what they are doing in their personal space. So you have to give autonomy, not only in being a person, an individual at workplace, but also during their classroom transaction. Observing the classrooms while the teachers are teaching doesn't mean that you point out at everything that the teacher do. Teacher has to be given the right to take independent decisions when it comes to her or his classroom transaction, because she is the person who is dealing with the students in the classroom, not the academic coordinator or the principal. So you can ask for a report as in why you have taken a decision, but you cannot enforce the teacher that you have to do what I say. And moving on to the next part, pupil-teacher ratio is always a concern in any school, whether it is an SSC school or a CBSE school or an IC school or an IB curriculum school. So pupil-teacher ratio should be as per the, pupil-teacher ratio is not just about how many students are there for each teacher to deal, but also depends upon the infrastructure of the class as well. These days, we are talking about individual lesson planning for the students, which means a teacher has to identify the existing intelligence among the students and she has to design her lesson. In that case, if you stuff 50 or 40 students into a classroom, how can we expect a normal human being who is also having a life other than professional life at home to come up with individual lesson plans? Wherein, especially in Indian, educational system, when the teachers are changing from year to academic year due to several reasons. So pupil-teacher ratio has to be considered, and it has to be reduced as per the need of the hour in the school. Apart from that, we should also have qualified teachers. Initially, when even being a resource person, I don't mind saying this. When I've joined in a school initially, I did not have my BEd. It is after 1 year of teaching that I've started doing my BEd. Okay, so let me tell you, qualified teachers who have the bachelor's degree in education, are very much needed for any educational institution. It's not just for the purpose of showing the certificate, but doing that course definitely has an impact on the teacher as a professional. Okay, those people, the subjects which we do in BEd, isn't it? So those studies, they have an impact on the working style of the teacher. Moving on to the next part, head teachers and school principals. Let me draw the attention of all the school heads who are sitting here. You being a principal or a vice principal or an academic coordinator doesn't mean, I would like to give a disclaimer before in hand, doesn't mean that you can rub pepper on the heads of your teachers. Yes, you are standing as a head representing all the teachers for the organization. No doubt you have managerial pressure upon your head, but that doesn't mean that you will pass on that pressure onto the heads of the teachers. Remember, you are sitting in your cabin to observe what is happening around, and as a head teacher or a principal, you are liable to take decision that is favorable for teachers. It is not always passing on your stress onto the heads of the teachers, which is not good for an organization. That is the reason these days in 70% of schools in India, other than KVs and Navodayas, I am talking about the private organization, every year there is a drastic number of teachers who are leaving the organizations, and constantly they are in search for an organization that has a safe mental and physical environment, I should say. So let me be very clear. Leadership is not shouting. Leadership is not targeting. Leadership is not being behind for each and everything. Leadership is empowering the people under you. And as a leader, you have to train the people under you to become future leaders. With this note, I would like to go to the next point, academic and administrative functionaries. Also, initially they have spoken about diets and SERTs and all. But let me speak about the other wing of the school, which is actually the administrative wing of the school. Admin, if academics is the heart of the institution, admin is the brain of the institution. Remember, if this is not functioning properly, then the whole system gets affected. So not only today, if you go to foreign countries, educational administration is a subject being taught in those countries. This way, I urge people here, though we don't have such courses, in the institutions, principals have to come up with trainings for the administrators who are working in educational institutions, which is very much needed. A common, proper induction has to happen for the people working in the administrative wing of the school as well. They should work in close association with the teachers and the facilitators of the school, and they should function as the spine in the back of the school. It is not just passing on the information, and they have to support the teachers in all the means. Moving on to the very important part of empowering your teachers, that is training and mentoring. I'll come to mentoring later. Let me speak about training. Like you all know, we have pre-service teacher education. Apart from B.Ed, these days the government has taken a step to have an integrated program, that is 4-year program with interdisciplinary curriculum for people to come out and pursue their, if at all they're passionate about teaching. Graded exposure to classroom practice, peer discussions, recruitment through rigorous processes, including interviews and demos. Proper interview has to be done. Proper screening has to be done. Apart from that, even if we can conduct a written exam, that will be really good. And then making CTET a mandatory thing in the schools will be really useful to churn out the cream out of all the teachers. In-service teacher education, mentoring and supporting. As you know, CBSE is a wonderful platform wherein it is providing continuous professional development on online as well as offline space. Apart from that, institutionalized meetings for collaboration and coaching is needed. We have cluster groups. They are also doing good trainings for the teachers. We have Sahodayas. They are also doing very good teacher training programs, induction programs, and senior teacher mentorship. Mostly what happens in school is a new teacher who is stepping into the organization. She is not given the screening about your culture, your organization, and the things which happen in your organization. Let me urge you all again to take a look at SQAAF, wherein it is clearly mentioned that the new teachers are to be given proper induction for minimum of 7 or 15 days before they take up the role and responsibility as a teacher or any designation in your school. For that particular designation, what are their roles and responsibilities? Those are to be told to them in the form of an induction training. Then you ask them to start working in your organization. And for this, principals have to identify the best senior teachers who are working with your organization since many years and make them as the mentors for these upcoming teachers. And also make sure, as I told earlier, a leader makes leaders. So this person who is acting as a mentor for this junior teachers should be responsible and lovable towards those teachers, be kind to them and make them understand the process of your organization. Moving on, career and professional development. Remember one thing, first and foremost thing is that even this, what do we say? stereotype has not completely got erased in the Indian minds that teaching is not a proper job. Let me speak. It's my own sad incident. I don't mind saying that when I told my own mother that I want to become an educator, she was against it. She said, "You don't have a proper job security." Still, this stereotype, even today, my mother tells me if there is a chance, you have to you have to go for another profession because people feel that there is no financial security and job security and futuristic security for an educator in this country. Apart from all these things, after they join with us as teachers, if we don't show them a proper pathway for growth, okay, how is that they are going to work with a happy and fulfilled and content heart for your organization? It is mentioned in the SQAF also, proper career growth, counseling services are to be provided to the teachers who are joining the organization. The principal has to take this step. The principal has to conduct career counseling not only for your 10th and 12th students, but also the teachers who are working with you. How can a teacher work and become an in charge of that particular class if you have 4 or 5 sections? In charge teacher for all the 4 sections. How can she become an HOD? What is that thing that she has to work upon for becoming a HOD? What is that she can do to become an academic coordinator after a few years? What is that she can do to become a headmistress after a few years? What is that she can do to become at least a vice principal before she or he retires? Remember one thing, we didn't come with these things, putting them in our bag. Okay, everyone have the right to grow in their profession. Most of the teachers who are leaving organizations, they claim that I don't find my professional growth in this particular organization. And I am seeing people around me like that every day. Okay, so growth opportunities are to be provided for teachers. This has to be taken on serious note. If you are not telling what opportunities they have got, especially in your organization for future, they are not going to stay with you. So with this note, before I complete, let me tell you, happy teacher makes happy classroom. Happy classroom makes happy students. Happy students make happy school. Happy schools make happy society. And happy society makes happy world. So kindly make your teachers happy before you think about how many number of admissions you have every academic year. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You bring such a positive energy into our minds. Now, next chapter, chapter 4 is community and family engagement. Family and community engagement is a collaborative effort between schools, families, and community members to support students' success. I request our resource person, Mrs. Jyoti Iyer, who is an English facilitator come content writer, is so perfect to handle this chapter. I welcome you, Jyoti ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Before I start talking, I wanted some of the participants to just tell me, why do you think there is any need at all to involve the community or the families of students in our education system? Isn't it like this is the teacher's job and the administrator's job, and the students are involved because they are pretty much a customers kind of? So why bother with the community? Why bother with the family? Why are we doing that? Why is this a part of the NCF?
Because ma'am, family and community, they are the primary agent, no?
Correct.
They are the foremost primary agent.
Correct. And it's anybody else to address the bigger issues of society. Absolutely, absolutely. And I like the use, they are the stakeholders, exactly. And I really want to focus on this idea that we are not an island. The child is not an island. It's not disconnected. When the child comes to you as a student, it's not disconnected from everything else in society. The child is a student, but it is also a son or a daughter. The child is also a part of a community. And as a result, we need to make sure that we engage and we embrace them in our teaching learning system, so that it becomes a part, like I think
Take
it
one
will
selfie.
create okay. And basically what will happen is, not only will their expectations.
Jyoti ma'am, unmute yourself, please.
Sorry. Yes. So what I was saying is that not only will it ensure that there is a their expectations are successfully addressed or completed, but apart from that, there will be a little bit of that connection that we make with society. At the end of the day, we need to remember that when we talk about education, it is not only for a student, it is for society. The reason why we educate people is not just for literacy, it is for a holistic development, and society is a part of our entire holistic development, right? I'm just reading out the messages. Enhanced learning experience through the real world connection. Yes, a child is part of society and family. So the family should be made to feel that teaching is a worthwhile profession. This is, I think, continuing from what Sir was talking about. And it does take a village to bring up a child. Absolutely. Not only does it take a village to bring up a child, remember, the parents, the society, the community is trusting you to take care of them. So it is your responsibility to make sure that there is a valuable engagement with them and with the student, which is, of course, your job. We can go on to the next slide, sir. Correct. So now I've mainly talked about two things here. We said parents or family and community. So let's talk about parents first. I think the first two aspects of this, the part in green, is the part that most teachers will be aware of, right? Orientation meetings. We do this, I think pretty much every school has this, right? An orientation meeting is to orient parents on the school processes, expectations. It's almost like we are preparing them for what is to come, which is absolutely necessary. Apart from this, there also should be, this is a suggestion, that if you provide school tours led by the students, you might have seen this in, when I watch these American sitcoms, you often see these student-led school college tours, right? So that the idea is that not only does the student feel a sense of belongingness to the school, but the parent also understands what kind of a connection has been built. Next is about organizing presentations and distributing written material to the parent. So when the orientation meetings are going on, we must do this in order to, first of all, make it clear to the parents that this is not just a task that we are getting done with. This is actually genuine engagement that we are looking for with the parents. And finally, we also must host sessions for larger community visitors. So here, this is kind of going above and beyond the parents. We are talking about the community at large, because after all, these students are going to be part of the community. If you remember, Meenu ma'am was talking about how even the library could become a community library after school hours, so that they feel like this school is a part of our society. It's not just a building. It's genuinely a part of our education, of our children's life, of our lives. Second, coming to parent-teacher meetings, this is probably the, I think orientations are relatively a new concept, whereas parent-teacher meetings are probably the oldest thing in the book. And most of the traditional learners or traditional parents, they think of parent-teacher meeting as nothing but, oh, they'll show us the papers and they'll tell us how many marks our kids got. But we need to change that perspective. We need to make sure that we are treating parents as partners. Remember, we are not there to just, sit on a high horse and tell the parents, okay, this is what your child needs to do and this is what the child is not doing. No, they are partners. We are both invested in the same child. So treat them as partners, and I'm sure it will make your process so much easier. We also need to foster frequent communication beyond PTMs. I think this is becoming way more common nowadays, where there are dedicated days. Sometimes in certain schools, a particular day of the week, in certain schools, it's a particular day of the month, where you are allowed to go and visit the the teacher, regardless of whether it's a PTM or not. So that is a great initiative where parents are allowed to, take part. I think I must say that social media has made these things way more easier as well. If you think about it, the positive of social media is that now, at just over WhatsApp, you can talk to your child's teacher or your child's principal. That's a great thing, right? If you think about it, it's an opportunity for you as a parent to give inputs, but also for you as a teacher to make sure that the parents are in the loop. Next is talking about sharing progress in learning and socio-emotional development. So learning part, I think it's obvious, but also the socio-emotional development. And when we talk about the holistic progress reports, that kind of fits in here, where we are not only, we always said that children, our aim is to have holistic progress or holistic development of the child, but with the holistic report cards, we will be able to actually physically show the parents the holistic development that the child has been given. Next, coming to fun activities, I would like to share something here. The first ever job that I did, they had this great system where they had come up with this thing where at every PTM, one teacher would volunteer and they would do one of the activities that you are anyway going to do with the children. They would do it, and in that particular class, it would be like a 10-minute activity. But imagine as a parent, if you get to know that, remember, this is way before online classes was a thing, because now with online classes, parents kind of know what is happening in class. But usually parents in those days never knew what was happening in class. It's like, okay, the child goes to school and comes back home. If the child is not very communicative, parent knows from PTM to PTM what is happening. But when you organize these kind of fun activities, even teaching learning, if you do it for them, maybe 5 minutes, one concept you teach them, the parent knows, not only does the parent know what is happening in school, but the parent is able to then complement or supplement that with their own help from home. Sometimes some children need extra help from home, and they will know exactly which way to go. They will have a clear path. And finally, conducting teacher home visits for personalized support. This is in cases where it becomes necessary. There are cases where it becomes necessary, and in that case, this is absolutely a great idea. And I think most of us will agree this is not going to be a regular thing, but it is a great opportunity whenever the need arises. Coming to inviting parents or families or community to school. Here we talk about engaging parents in school functions. This again, I think it is a great, so all these parts, this section, I think it's very necessary for me to specify that this has to be voluntary. See, in every school, as teachers, as principals, you know that there will be certain parents who are extremely engaged and certain others who are just not that interested. So it has to be voluntary, but you must give parents the opportunity to take part in your function. So when I say take part, I don't mean just come and participate. Like if it's a fun fair, they come and buy things and go away. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Here, I'm talking about being a part of the organization of the functions, or being a, even as something as simple as if a parent volunteers, how there are show and tells, there are vocation days. So some person from the community comes in, talks about how maybe they are a firefighter or they are a teacher or a doctor, and how, so these kind of functions, how when you make sure that it's a part of the school functioning, the parent feels like a part of it. Think about it. It's almost like, you know, if you have a wedding at home, you don't have to, although you will officially give a card to your uncle and aunt, your uncle and aunt are going to take part in the preparation of the wedding, right? And that's not something that it's a given. And if you think about it, when it comes to functions, school functions, it's like a function in that sense, right? Like a wedding at home. So we need to make sure that the community is involved. All the parts of our school education system are involved. And so I've already covered all those. So involve larger community in school activities, enrollment, infrastructure, meals. It'll feel like they are genuinely a part of your community. Organize community events. So here, this is what I was talking about. Bal melas, fairs, health camps, etc. And they also utilize school infrastructure for community activities. We must do this. So this is what we offer to the community. Till now, I was talking about what the community offers to us. Now we are talking about what we offer to the community. If usually schools are bigger places, right? So we must offer the school infrastructure. It will be a great idea to do this, where you utilize the school infrastructure for community activities, so that it's not just us taking and not giving back, because after all, the community must feel like one. I'll just, sir, can you please move on to the next slide? Meanwhile, I'll just read the chat. School should make this attractive to very busy professionals also, because each parent, honestly, that is true, right? While it should be voluntary, but make sure that it becomes an attractive idea as well. Because each parent is also human and differ from one another. So make it attractive to them. Make sure that they understand the value of this. Okay, coming to community involvement. If you think about it, there are two basic things. One is the mental, opening up of your mind's eye, where you're building perspective amongst parents, family, and community. So discuss the importance of attendance, love-based relationships, homeworks. Why are we doing this? Rather than do it, tell them why. Next, communicate about early childhood and adolescent development, because especially at that age, there is this, we all have been adolescents at one point. We all know how cranky we got without knowing why we are doing it. When you educate the parent, you are making that period, which is very difficult for the child as well. You're making it easier for you, for the child, and for the parent. Let's all work towards it together. Third, clarify behavioral norms and expectations. And I think going along with it, share school rules and consequences. So it shouldn't come as a surprise to the parent that, oh, why did you send my child home because he came 20 minutes late? If it is already communicated, like I told you during the orientation part, there will be no, confrontation. Don't take it as a confrontation, take it as a collaboration. Next, coming to parents, families, and community as resource persons. Invite community members to share knowledge and skills. And here we are talking about, obviously, the knowledge and skills in the sense that vocational education, for example. Organize bagless days and local field trips. Both of these will help build that connection to the community, build that affinity for the child towards the school, and for the community as well towards the school. Involve parents in art, PE, vocational education. I already covered that. And create a database of volunteers for tutoring and learning support. We talked about how some children might need some extra tutoring. And in that case, it would be a great idea for you to take that support, because we all know that we all have different skills. Why not use the skills that are available with our community? Let's think of it as our community, not the community, and the teaching profession. Let's bring it together. Let's think of it as collaboration, not competition. With that, I come to the end of not only my section of the NCF, but we have covered successfully the entire NCF. And I would like to pass the screen back to Ashwini ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Before we pass on the screen to Mrs. Ashwini Srinivasan, Madam Mrs. Sita Iyer has raised her hand.
That was the mistake.
Yeah.
By mistake it came that hand. Sorry to disturb you.
No, that's okay. Not a disturbance at all, ma'am.
That's a chat.
Fine.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Continue, Mrs. Srinivasan.
Thank you, Jyoti ma'am. The way you explained the part was so wonderful. Thank you, Jyoti ma'am, once again. Now we are moving to the next program, that is felicitation program. I request all the participants to stay back. After the felicitation program, you have a huge surprise today. So please stay back. And now I invite the first core member of SNTTC and resource person of SNTTC, Vice Principal of renowned international school based in Hyderabad, also a well-wisher of SNTTC who works behind the screen by giving regular feedbacks and supports other resource persons during their webinars. It's none other than our beloved Pushkarani ma'am. We invite you, ma'am. Welcome you, ma'am.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, all the resource persons and the participants. It was indeed a wonderful session. All these days I've been listening to the webinars, though I was a little busy. And the array of topics was very vast, but you have put forth in such a way that every participant as well as any educator, it will be easy for them to understand and put it into practice in their daily routine. And the way you have carried out, and as I'm involved into your chats as well, I know the way how meticulous planning has been done by you all. I once again thank, and the coordination you all have exhibited is very good. And I look forward for the other webinars sessions as well. Thank you all.
Thank you, Pushkarani ma'am. Now I request our founder director, Mr. Ravikant sir, to felicitate the resource persons.
Thank you, Mrs. Srinivasan. So it is not just about felicitation, especially this day is closely associated to my heart. We have identified the best teachers in the month of September, and we are in September, I suppose, and we have awarded them with best teacher awards, innovative teacher awards, creative teacher awards. But now it is time that we address those people who were actually very much appreciated. See, SNTTC have completely taken its, the form which you are looking at it as today from February 2024, though we were present before also. And from then till today, the resource persons of SNTTC are well acclaimed for the webinars that they have been taking. And today, I, as the founder of SNTTC, would proudly say that SNTTC is nothing without the resource persons that we have got. With this small note, because I lack words as in how to appreciate them or, show my gratitude towards them, I really, extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the resource persons of SNTTC for making what SNTTC is today, and also for taking up this 5 days of NCF webinar in a beautiful manner that these people have done. Now it is time that we felicitate, and most of the resource persons don't know that they have got a surprise, and I have a surprise for all the participants at the end of the session. So please stay tuned for the next 10 to 15 minutes. Firstly, I would like to appreciate Mrs. Jayavani Jayaraman, who has joined the family of SNTTC 40 days ago as to aspire her passion of becoming a resource person. As a social science facilitator. She has come up with extraordinary ideas during this NCF session while she has to take up a webinar. So we request Mrs. Jayavani Jayaraman to express her happiness for being over here during these 5 days in few words.
Yeah, good evening all. First, I would like to heartily congratulate Mr. Ravikant for what I am today. Always I used to say these words, because the platform what I have used right now is only because of you. And without the team members, it is nothing impossible for me. All the members of SNTC, there is no words to express my gratitude towards them, because they helped me in such a manner. So really, I'm really very thankful to be a part of your group, and there is no words. I'm really surprised that I was really shocked. Also, you has mentioned my name. I didn't expect it. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. And once again, I always used to say, I'm here. I have learned many things, and I used the platform correctly, I think so. I would like to tell only one thing to everybody. The opportunity will knock only once, and we have to use it to the core. That's it. And I think so that I have used it properly, and without my team members, it is nothing possible for me. So thank you for my team members also. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mrs. Jayavani Jayaraman. We wish you good luck in your future endeavors. Thank you. Now it's time that I move on to the next resource person, and she is none other than Mrs. P. Roja Rao. Ma'am is also a senior secondary school facilitator. Apart from that, she has been a master trainer of BAV, and she got closely associated with us in the last few months. Tremendous interest towards value education specifically. Whenever we speak about a webinar, ma'am is the first person to choose something that is associated with value education. So as a young principal, I don't mind saying this, that I have learned a lot from Roja ma'am as well. And it's time that we facilitate her, and I request Roja ma'am to address the gathering. Ma'am, you're on mute.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. And I'm really glad that I have joined this SNTTC, and you are such a motivator, and I'm really motivated by you and your words. And after joining, the whole team was such a supportive team, and it's like hand holding and then taking us to a different level. I really appreciate the way everyone is working in this team, and anyone who would join in this team will surely get into, to fulfill their dreams, of becoming something. It's really wonderful, and thank you so much, sir, for this certificate. I never expected it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. You deserve it.
Thank you, sir.
Moving on to the next resource person. It's time that I extend my heartfelt appreciations to Mrs. Abhilasha Verma, who is the headmistress of a renowned CBSE school based in Tamil Nadu for the Wings Foundation as well as preparatory. Ma'am is also the resource person at All India Educators Forum, and now she is also associated with us. I don't know what to speak about her, because she's not only a teacher, she's not only a headmistress, she's not just a resource person, but she is a human being with lots of kindness that is in her heart. So now I would like to request Mrs. Abhilasha Verma to speak a few words.
Much, sir, for your kind and encouraging words. And I would really like to thank Ravi, sir. I'm very glad like we have got a mentor like him who holds our hand, encourages, motivates us, and in all aspects. And I thank all my core members of SNTTC from bottom of my heart for encouraging me, motivating me. And today I am a part of SNTTC. I'm very glad and thank you very much. And I like to thank all the participants who has really taken out time to listen to us. And I hope all of you have benefited in all aspects. And your feedbacks will really make us a powerful team so that we can sort out your queries. Thank you so much, sir, for giving me such an opportunity. And I thank you all my members. Thank you so
ma'am.
much, sir.
Thank you so much. Now, moving on to the next resource person, Mrs. Jyoti Iyer, who happens to be one of my good friends, because I have worked closely with Jyoti a few years ago in one of the renowned branded schools of the nation, I should say. And she happens to be the English facilitator of that school when we were working together. And you know, the way Jyoti encourages the people around her is really appreciable. And every school should have one teacher like Jyoti who doesn't concentrate upon what is actually happening other than studies or other than some positivity that we can find in every teacher. She's a person who tries to identify the positive qualities of people around her. And then when a person is down or low, she is the person who stands in front to encourage them. Maybe it is teachers or maybe it is students or whoever it is. This kindness that she has in her heart makes her to stay closely associated with her students even today, especially with her colleagues, good colleagues like me, after many years also. So I really feel proud that Jyoti is now associated with SNTTC, and I don't have words to express my happiness for Jyoti being with us. And now I hand over the screen to Jyoti to express her, emotions or express what is in her mind.
Thank you so much, sir. Actually, for the participants, most of them have no clue what I do technically. So right now I'm not associated with any school. And I feel that the closest I have come recently to being associated with such a positive group of educators is being associated with SNTTC. It feels like I have actually, in our private chat, we have often said to each other that this is like our boost of positivity for the day. And I'm utterly grateful for the opportunity. And I would like to just, when it comes to education and the field of education, I would like to acknowledge that it is exactly opposite my entire experience with being a teacher is pretty much the opposite of what sir has had, where I come from a family of teachers, late teachers, ex-teachers, present teachers. Two of them happen to be here today. And I'm so happy that I have continued to be still associated with the education field. And I'm proud to say that this is not the first time I read the NCF, because even when I was not associated with anything and just being a mother full-time, I was interested in education. And I'm so glad that sir gave me this opportunity to get back in touch with education. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, Jyoti ma'am. It is not easy to, find out people who are worth it among a large group of people whom you have with you. So you are one person whom we all the core members of SNTTC feel that it is worth to have you with us. Thank you so much. Now, yes, coming to the surprises that I have got for the resource persons. Now, I would like to appreciate Mrs. Saima Siddiqui, who happens to be a resource person at SNTTC since last few months. She is the headmistress of the middle school wing of the renowned Sagar Public School based in Bhopal. Saima Siddiqui, who is basically a person who talks less, but when she comes up with a webinar, she comes with a blast. That is the tendency of interest that she has got towards any sort of webinar that she is taking. Like we say, empty vessels make more noise, but the people, like with lots of knowledge and intellect, when they are coming, it's always a blast. So I should say, personally, I feel that Mrs. Saima Siddiqui is a person whom every principal of a school should possess, because I know that she is a great helping hand for her principal and her teachers as well, and for the whole organization at her school. So congratulations, Mrs. Saima Siddiqui. And now we are moving on to the best part, that we are officially announcing the awards of resource persons. I have announced
so
this
much, sir.
earlier also, and Mrs. Saima is being awarded with the Evolving Resource Person Award of SNTTC for the year 2024. Congratulations.
Thank you so
Mrs.
much. Thank you so much.
Now, may I request Mrs. Saima gathering, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good evening to all the educators present here. I would like to express my gratitude to Mr. Ravikant, the director of SNTT, who has conceptualized and initiated that we should have a mega webinar. And then we had conducted this 5-day webinar, which was really an eye-opener and a learning for all of us. In the process of preparing the SN, these NCFs 5 webinars, we have also learned a lot. So I again want to thank Mr. Ravikant and SNTTC for bringing us together and giving us an opportunity to conduct a webinar like this. The NCF is no doubt the cornerstone is in shaping the education of our students. As educators, we share a greater responsibility, and we have a shared responsibility to bring this NCF to life in the classrooms. I believe that with this commitment and collaboration, we can ensure that the NCF vision translates to the meaningful outcomes for our students. Thank you very much, SNTTC and Mr. Ravikant, for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this mega webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. You deserve it very much. Thank you. Moving on to the next part. There would be few people in your life to always remind you about your responsibility towards the society. After establishing SNTTC, as I have also taken up just now a webinar on empowering teachers, there were many people who came, there were many teachers who came into life after establishing SNTTC with their day-to-day, inputs, which they felt if someone could give an ear towards. And as I spoke about career development, I have taken this person personally, that she should, I don't know whether I am speaking is actually reaching your hearts, because I don't know to put it in better words. That's the reason I'm saying it this way, that she has been a closest, target and a goal for me as a master trainer of SNTTC. Because I don't look at Ashwini as Ashwini, but I look at as the crores of teachers whom we have got in this country. And like all the teachers, Ashwini is also a very passionate teacher who has brought about tremendous, change in the lives of the students that she deals with. And she has applied also for the awards of teachers, best teachers and innovative teachers. But I felt that she deserves more, and she's an evolving resource person. I announce officially the award of Evolving Resource Person that is being awarded to Mrs. Ashwini Srinivasan for the year 2024 from SNTTC. May I now request Mr. Srinivasan to speak a few words?
Really, it was a very big surprise, sir. My eyes are filled with tears, no words to express. First and foremost, I would like to extend my hearty gratitude to you, because you were the biggest support system and one who motivates me whenever I have some negative thoughts or whenever I am a step behind. And my big gratitude to Aarti ma'am. She is the first person who motivates me in my first webinar. If I reach to the next level of master trainer, or if I do 100 webinars also, I can never forget Aarti ma'am in my life. And thanks to all my family members who keep supporting me. Even though I am busy with my work, they never question me. You're not doing house chores, you're still doing something in that. And personally, I requested my mother to join this webinar just 5 minutes back. She is here. She is the biggest motivation for me in all the aspects. She keeps motivates me. And after joining this, when my first webinar post was a flyer was given, the word she said is, now I don't have scare. You will grow and you will stand in your legs. So for that words, for your big support, thank you so much, ma. No words to express my gratitude to my parents. Till today, after being a parent, they keep supports me in all aspects. And thanks to my SNTTC team, where till now where I have worked, I have gone with the people who have some politics, who always pulls people down or push people down. Now, at last, I would take a time to thank all the participants. Without you, we are nothing here. Thanks for your support, your time, and the feedbacks given by you people has made us this today. Thank you, sir. Thank you, SNTTC team.
Congratulations, Mr. Srinivasan. And I would like to quote something that trainers cannot be made, trainers are born, and Ashwini Srinivasan is one among them. So you deserve more, and I congratulate you, as well as we all on behalf of SNTTC wish you a good luck for your future endeavors.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Let us move on to the next part. Yes. How can I introduce this person to you all? Because when every day there is one feather being added to her crown, but still she remains the core of the earth and she motivates people around her. The way she brings out humor and she dilutes the stress and tense that we have got towards our responsibilities has to be really appreciated. I cannot speak much about her, but I can only say one thing. She is the diamond of SNTTC, and it is none other than Mrs. Meenu Kaur Chawla. I announce the award of Evolving Resource Person of 2024 from SNTTC for Mrs. Meenu Kaur Chawla. May I now request Mrs. Meenu Kaur Chawla to address the gathering.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. I'm really overwhelmed with the way you introduced me to this gathering. And trust me on this, like I am what I'm today because of you. I still remember, I mean, the day I was about to join SNTTC, I was a little reluctant, I was a little the And trust me, the day since like I became the part of the SNTTC family, I have gained, I have evolved, I have become what I am today. And like Ravi sir, he has actually taught me, there is invisible hand holding, which he does. He's the one who has carved a mentor or a coach out of a learner, I would call it as. And like, seriously, this team of SNTTC is my strength each and every day. Like we see there are like this 5 days webinar was really a little toll taking thing because, you have to be prepared. You have to come up with so many things, but I was taken care as a baby is taken care of. Like slides were made, discussions were done. And, like I cannot, stop speaking about the way Ashwini is there helping me, the way Aarti ma'am, like she is like she's my lady love. I'll simply say that. And Jyoti, like, oh my goodness, whenever there is something to be, done specially, so Jyoti is the one who takes the lead, and then the silent way Saima ma'am observes and then, comes out as a helping hand. And really, Jevani ma'am, Roja ma'am, sorry if I'm forgetting name of anyone, Abhilasha ma'am, Pushkarni ma'am, like each one of you add hues to my life, and I'm really indebted for that. And thank you so much, sir, for bringing this platform where we all are not connected as professionals, but as an important element of my life. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and hearty congratulations for your future endeavors, because madam is also an NLP trainer. She is also upon to clinical psychology now. I should say, like, there should be more Meenu Kaur Chawlas in every nook and corner of India. People who always aspire to learn something and take it into the people. I should say, whichever organization, the Allen House Public School of Jhansi is blessed to have such a senior academic coordinator, and the teachers are blessed to have as you as an academic coordinator. Now, moving on to the next part and the final award of this day. Few people bring about a change in every family, every organization, and every group of people who they are into. And you don't need that person to actually do something, but the presence of that person brings about a vibe in that particular place. And as educators, I don't know, I'm becoming very emotional. As educators, always we have felt that if we would have had a person who can hold our hand, and if my principal can do that to me, that would have been really great. I should say, Sagar Public School has done lots of, good deeds, that they have possessed Aarthi Killan, Mrs. Aarthi Killan, as one of their principals. And how blessed are the teachers of that organization to have her as their principal, because Saima is also here. Saima also closely works with Aarthi ma'am. I don't have words, but it is 100% and 1000%, because you all have heard what each and every core member of SNTTC have spoken about Mrs. Aarthi Killan, because always I felt like she is the spine in my back. And she's the person who can take care of the whole thing. Even as a principal, she has lots of things to do. And she understands my position also, the things that I have got to do as a principal. And she takes over the things. She runs the show. Actually, I should say, today she is the face of SNTTC. And that's the reason we always call her officially as our advisor. And we are announcing every year we will be giving a resource person the best resource person award. And for SNTTC, it's really a very big award. And this year in 2024, we are officially announcing the awardee as Mrs. Aarthi Killan for being the best resource person of the year. May I now request Mrs. Killan to speak a few words?
Sir, thank you so much. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm so touched. Each and every person, each and every member of SNTT has spoken so much that I'm speechless. But then I must say that being a part of this particular national curriculum framework presentation for the last 5 days, it is an incredible experience for me. Knowing family members, we are like a family now, SNTTC resource persons. We are just like a family, and so much of learning. And I especially enjoy sharing ideas, then working nights, working days for this, tomorrow we have to do this, who's going to do what, how are we going to do in less time, maximum output has to be there. So I mean, the commitment, the positive impact, everything, it has really given me so much. I'm sure whatever we have learned, I mean, the way we have shared ideas with all these people over here, the kind of discussions we all have. So it is going to have a positive impact on everyone, even our students in their classes. I'm truly grateful to you for this opportunity, and I want to thank everyone who made it possible. I believe the insights that we have gained will help us to better guide our students, and I'm excited to see how these ideas will shape our classrooms in future. Thank you. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We are very much blessed to have you as one of the core member in SNTTC, and we are looking forward the same way, the way you have been supporting each and every core member over here. And here ends officially the award ceremony of resource persons for this year. And everyone have to wait till the next September, wherein we will be again having the awards for teachers and resource persons like this. Meanwhile, hope we'll be having more and more resource persons at SNTTC. And now, the surprise for all the participants. So we know that few people could join every day and few people could not join every day. Few people could collect your certificates because after CBSE has made this 50 hours of training a mandate, teachers are really worried about getting the trainings done because they don't have their, they don't even have time. So this is our small step as to again appreciate the hardworking teachers of this nation. And we will be sharing within a day, we will be sharing the links of all these 5 days of webinars through a WhatsApp message in all our groups, SNTTC groups, wherein you can have access and in your free time, you can listen to the webinars and you can brush up your knowledge about NCF. The other surprise that we have got for our participants is that few people have been regularly collecting the certificates all the 4 days. Today also they have to collect the certificates, and a certificate which is being given as complimentary, as we have done a mega webinar from the end of SNTTC for first time. All the participants who have collected the 5 days of certificates are going to get a complimentary certificate for the complete NCF. Hope you all will appreciate this move and bless us all. So thank you, dear participants. Without you all, this wouldn't have been successful. It is your presence which has made us to have this wonderful 5 days of mega webinar. And hope this Vijayadashami brings about a drastic change in the lives of every educator after attending this NCF session. So with this note, I would like to thank each and everyone, the resource persons, the core members and the participants and the people, the gurus of us who have made this possible for us to become resource persons like this and be actually resourceful, at least for few participants whom we have got. Thank you one and all. Thank you once again. If anyone would like to share your feedback, that would be really appreciated because it's late, we know. Who would like to share?
A vote of thanks for everyone.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, please.
So thank you, everyone. I would like to start with a quote. Gratitude is not the greatest of virtues. It is the parent of all others. Good evening, everyone. It is an honor and privilege to extend our heartfelt gratitude on behalf of SNTTC at the conclusion of this enriching 5-day session on the National Curriculum Framework 2023. First and foremost, I would like to express my sincere thanks to our esteemed director, Mr. Ravi Perukalambil, whose leadership and vision, it has been really instrumental in bringing us all together for this crucial discussion. Sir, your commitment to advancing education is truly inspiring, and we are grateful for your unwavering support throughout this journey. A special thanks to all our resource persons for their insightful presentations and comprehensive guidance. Your deep understanding of the National Curriculum Framework has really provided us with valuable perspectives and actionable takeaways. Your expertise has made these sessions not only informative, but also transformative. And it has helped us to see bigger picture and finer details with clarity. To my fellow educators, thank you for your active participation and engagement over these past 5 days. Your dedication to continuous learning and improvement is what makes education a vibrant and evolving field. The discussions we had, the questions you asked, and the experiences you shared have really added tremendous value to our learnings. And I'm certain we all leave today with a renewed sense of purpose and direction. And as we move forward to implement these principles, let us remember that the real work begins now. Together, we have power to create an environment that will nurture creativity, critical thinking, and holistic development for our students. So, I would like to close on this note. Let us be grateful to people who make us happy, and they are the charming gardeners who make our soul blossom. So that is you and your team SNTCC, sir. Once again, thank you. Thank you to each one. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. If anyone would like to share their feedback, we would really appreciate it.
So I would just like to say thank you to all the resource person. And these 5 days have been really, really very, very informative and transformative, like ma'am said. And also, it's really been seamless, you know, all the work which is shown to us in front of us, and very concise, very specific, and we did not see any lagging of any kind anywhere, you know. And we don't realize the kind of work which goes into it. And listening to their feedback, it really makes it very, very obvious that they've really been working day and night for giving us this presentation. And we're really, very thankful. And all the resource person, congratulations to all of them. And they've done a great job. And we really hope to see them again together and give us some more presentations and bring more life to our knowledge. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Pushpalata, ma'am. Yeah, so let us wind up today's session and stay tuned. We are coming up with another mega webinar of NCF for foundational stage. We will be announcing the dates. Thank you one and all. Thank you once again.